Hello all, second part of my mailbag, and I'm very excited that I've got the parts I've been waiting for. So let's start off with some punk retro studs. Now, what are they for? I bought a bag of 20, and what these are, they're metal studs. They're 20mm high, and they have a 1mm tip. And in the last video I bought these magnets which have recessed bottoms, and I also purchased some short 3mm screws. The 6mm ones, let me just check, the 5mm ones, sorry, the 5mm ones really only grab on about 1.5 threads. So if I was ordering them again, I would get 6mm or 7mm. 8mm too long, so 7mm might be too long. I think 6mm would be perfect. So what I intend to use these for, when I build my laser enclosure, I'm going to have a metallic base, and these, if I'm not using my honeycomb bed, although these will stick on honeycomb bed, they can stick on honeycomb bed. I can position them around where I need them, and it will save using the honeycomb bed. Hopefully, well, there will be more airflow underneath the work because they're 20mm high, and I'm hoping it'll be easier to clean up, because when you're cutting wood and acrylic, you get that horrible residue which gets, as you all probably aware, gets in the honeycomb bed. And yes, I can say it now, you can put it in the dishwasher when your wife's away. So yeah, that's the best way to clean it. Anyway, so these studs do come with their own screws, but they're not tapered, they're flat bottom screws, so they don't recess in the magnets very well. So it's the screw touching the metal plate, where if you use recessed screws, the full magnet is touching the plate. You could get away with not ordering the screws because, you know, these aren't going to be knocked around, they're taking a vertical load. So you know, if I could zoom in there, there is a tiny gap on this one where the flat screw is, and the recessed screws are recessed, though the magnet touches. Anyway, that's those. I look forward to using them. Right, what else have we got? Yes, these fittings. So I want to do something a bit special with my air assist. I've got the pond pump, which you've probably seen in another video, and I'm using 8mm silicone flexible hose. So my plan is, I also got a very cheap pond aeration pump, but it doesn't really put out much flow. When you're pushing your finger on the end, there's hardly any flow, but I think when it goes through all the pipes and just coming out the nozzle, it might be enough just to protect the lens. So my idea with T's and elbows are to plumb my big pump in together with my small pump. So the small pump will be running all the time, because it's only giving out a very small amount of air, and I'm hoping that'll be enough to protect the lens. And then when I'm cutting, I'm hoping to build a little relay device, so when you ask Lightburn for air, it will turn the relay on and automatically start the bigger pump, excuse me, because a couple of times I have forgotten to flick the pump on and it's done, you know, half a square, and I think, yeah, it's very quiet in the workshop today, I haven't turned the damn pump on. So that's going to automate that process. These fittings here, I call them bulkhead fittings. So the idea of these is, if I'm going to put the air pump outside my enclosure, which I don't think I will be, I think it's going to be going inside the enclosure with a fresh air hose poking out the enclosure, so it's sucking in fresh air. Then if it does go on the outside, then I can put a tube on the inside, go through the enclosure and pop it out. Or you could, you know, if you was just drill a hole and push the rubber hose through the enclosure. But I had to make up a certain value when I was ordering these to get the discount, so that's why I added these. So these fittings here are needle valve restrictors. So it gives me an option that if I want to use the big pump for engraving, or even the big pump for cutting, and I think it's giving me too much air, I can restrict the flow on that. Because where is my other device? I'm looking around at my desk. I know it's here somewhere, but it's a very messy desk today. I bought this flow gauge, so again, it's in my last video. So when I'm altering this, I can see what litres a second or litres per minute I'm getting out the nozzle. So that I'm looking forward to getting that assembled and tested. So that's them. I'm using 8mm, and I'm hoping this is a 2 metre length, because last time I mistakenly bought a 1 metre length. Yes, that's all one length. So this is now 2 meters, and I'm hoping, because I did test it, that these are a good quality fitting. So when you push the collet down, the little teeth in there, as you can see, maybe disappear. So this hose, I should be able to push the collet in, push the hose in, and that's gripping. So that's going to be airtight, so I'm happy with that. And a 1 meter hose was just slightly too short, so now I've got to get that out my braided protection I put on the X gantry, so that's a little bit fiddly, so that will be great. So again, I'm looking forward to using those. Now I did have yes, I did also buy, just in case, again I had to make the order up, so that's going from 6mm outside to 8mm. So I do have 6mm like a PE hose, a harder stiff hose, so in case I want to run that across the X gantry, I can go from my soft silicone into that. So yes, I've got my last part of my Z lift that I'm making. So this is, it did come strangely enough with 6 scrub screws. I don't know why, they were all loose in the bag, but I just checked to make sure they were well threaded. And in my last video I showed you bearings, and this rod, which is all part of the mechanism. I'm hoping, well, probably not going to be this side of the Christmas now to get that done, but the CAD drawings I think is finished, so that will allow me to assemble that part. So I only bought one of those because I'm only going to need one, and that's just 5mm to 5mm solid coupling. Don't need anything fancy. I wanted the smallest one possible. If you get any form of flexible coupling, they grow about twice the diameter and a little bit longer. So that's that. That's rubbish. I bought myself, this is not for lasering, but this is a USB 3. I think that's 2 meters, and it's quite a heavy cable, and it's got a cloth braid on the outside. I have checked it works. So you got the standard blue on the outside and USB-C. For some reason, the last cables I bought had a 90-degree end on them. Now I've changed my phone and got a different cover. I can put the 90-degree USB-Cs in, but it's incredibly difficult to pull it out. So I treated myself to a nice cable. So I bought some more black business cards because I want to make some business cards. These are 0.2mm, and as you can see, they are a bit flexible. I think they are not anodized, they're just painted with something. So these are going to be used for making business cards, hopefully get a nice QR code on there and an image and some text, but they're also going to be used for finding perfect focus. I've made my perfect focus stands. I've cut one, although it is downstairs in the cold garage and I'm not going down in the garage today. So that is that. So that was 50 of them. Then I did treat myself, and unfortunately they've come damaged, to some 0.4mm cards. So let me just show you the damage first of all. I've sent a video off to the seller. So if you can see, I can get the light, you see this mark here. And when the top ones are the best ones, there are about 6 good ones, but then all of them, where the mark is, you can just see, let me get the light a little bit better, you can just see there, they're all marked. So I've sent that off to AliExpress, and they can still be used possibly for testing, but no good for giving out to people because they're damaged, unfortunately. And these are much stiffer, so look, that's as much as I want to bend it, so I can't flex it. There is one there, yeah, it's only one there. You know, the weight difference is, yeah, you pick this up. I was so happy when they came, but disappointed when I opened the packet, obviously. So we'll see what the seller does. They were about £15 for 50, so that was good value, but they come damaged. So yes, let's have some exciting laser lights. So I bought, these are the coin cell holders. I think they were in the last video, with a little switch. They hold 2 coin cell batteries. You can put thick or thin ones in there. I found some cheap thin ones. I can't get that open now, but it does come out open. Anyway, the smallest ones I had, I put in there and they connect fine. Just got a chocolate block on there at the moment. So when you want to use it, you just flick the switch on and it gives you a crosshair. So as with your laser, it depends how far away from the workpiece. It does have a rotating focus lens on here, so you can twist it. You can probably not see that on the video, but that's now thin. That's probably as thin as I can get it, and if I rotate the other way, you can see it's getting fat. So I bought this because why not? I can add that to the size of the laser module if I want to. The coin cell weighs nothing, so I'm not adding much weight to the laser module itself, so the inertia, etc., they don't move fast enough really to make much difference. But so far I found that the framing low intensity beam when you turn it on is good enough, but I've got a lot of cut and print stuff to do using the Lightburn functionality, and I thought this might just be easier to use. Time will tell. So I bought a couple of those. I think they were £2 each, I think. Let's come into an end. Oh, I bought some paint brushes because these were far cheaper. Got some titanium dioxide to do, no spongy brushes. I've also got a spray bottle to use, but I've got some indoor painting to do anyway, nothing to do with lasering, so they might come in handy. Again, they were a lot cheaper than buying them on Amazon. So yes, we got these. So these are pulleys, 16 teeth. I've been doing some reading, and yeah, I've been doing some reading, and 20 teeth gears are not particularly suited well for lasering. It's all to do with how the line offset works. I think what's happened is that most 3D printers use 20 teeth, and they work slightly different. It's all right, I suppose, a positioning system, but we are stuck with mathematical ways the stepper motor works, and I will do another video way into January about this, because this is not on top of the list. But I'm going to do tests with the 20 teeth ones and the 16 teeth ones. And apparently when you're using certain line spacings, it makes the motion system really match well with how Lightburn is working, because Lightburn can only go down to so many decimal points, and if you're using a 20 teeth cog, you're really trying to use the decimal points that Lightburn can't use. Anyway, you can do your reading online if you want to find. And the last one, I haven't used it yet. This is because this morning I've had 3 power cuts already this morning, and luckily my PC does, well, crashes, I suppose is the right word, and it does restart, and sometimes you lose a bit of work, sometimes you don't. So this is a quality DC to DC converter. It goes from 8 to 40 volts in, and you get a steady 12 volt 10 amps out. So this was bought from the manufacturer. There's lots of cheap or cheaper copy ones floating around wherever you buy your stuff online, but this came from the manufacturer, so I paid a little bit more for it, but hopefully it's going to work properly. So the idea being is, when I'm lasering, because it's only, I think it's 5 amps it uses, so I doubled the ampage, and there wasn't much difference in price. Gonna run my laser off a car battery with an antiquated, I'm gonna say, battery charger on it. So it's not one of these microprocessor battery chargers. It's a good few years old, and it should keep the battery topped up. If the battery charger causes a problem, obviously I could unplug it when I'm using it and just plug it in, and it'll charge up overnight. So the idea being is, this should get me an uninterruptible power supply for my laser. Alright, if you get a power cut, your extract fan's going to go off, but your laser is not going to lose position. And as I said earlier, I've got a lot of cut and print stuff to do, and I would hate to lose position on that. Could add limit switches. That would probably assist with positioning on my CNC router. Limit switches are a godsend. But yeah, print and cut I think will do me, just to keep the wiring down on the laser. Anyway, I think for today, that is it. Nothing more on the desk. So yeah, that's it. Let me know what you think. I will put product links for all this stuff when I do the videos, or check back in a week or so on this video and the product links may be down below. I will put chapters on there. Hopefully they come out automated this time. I used DaVinci Resolve, and I think I found out what me, the user, was doing wrong, because it's always user error. It's hardly ever software. So hopefully now when I'm creating the videos, I do put the chapters within the video as I'm creating it. When it exports to YouTube, hopefully that will be automated, just to save me a process. Anyway, that is it. So I am looking forward to getting in the garage, but it's freezing at the moment, and I've got, oh sorry, one more product. I could have gone down my local Tupperware shop and bought a 1 litre measuring jug, but these were available for a couple of quid, so I thought, why not? Bought 2 of these for measuring fluids quite accurately. So when I'm doing the titanium solutions or watering down paint, whatever I'm going to do, I can measure the fluids with some precision. So that's good. Anyway, that's Andy wishing you good afternoon. Let's make some safe smoke together. Cheers for now. Thanks for making it to the end of my videos. If I've earned your respect and your trust, perhaps you would consider subscribing to my channel. It really does make a massive difference. And maybe you would like to watch some of the videos popping up on the screen now. Let me know what you think. Cheers for now.